Sit up straight. Press your fingertips into the floor, lengthen through your side waist and side chest. Move your arm bones back to bring your shoulder blades into your back. Keep this openness of the chest as you release your hands to your thighs and close your eyes. Descend your thighs. Balance your weight evenly on your right and left sitting bone. So make the lighter sitting bone heavier if you can. And then move your pelvis forward and back to find the midpoint of your sitting bones. So kind of be the theme of the class today is finding the middle. From there, lengthen up through the front of your body. Press your shoulder blades onto your back ribs. Broaden across your collarbones. Soften your neck and throat. Release your jaw. Rest your tongue into the base of your mouth. Take slow, even breaths. And then gently open your eyes. Come over to your hands and knees. Getting ready for dog pose. Place your wrist directly under your shoulders. Your knees in line with your hips. And walk your hands so that they're a hand's distance ahead of your shoulders. Spread your palms well. Press down with the index finger and thumb. Tuck your toes underneath. Lift your hips high. Come into downward facing dog. Press your thighs back. Press down with your index finger and thumb again. Turn your upper arms out. And from the pressure of your hands downward, take your hips further and further back. We're going to do a lot of downward dogs today. So come down. 6, anyway. All right. Now, take your hands back. So now that they're directly under your shoulders and your knees are directly under your hips. So this would be a short dog. Tuck your toes under, come up. So make it so you can feel the dog is short. Kathy with a K, I think your phone just fell. I see your ceiling. So
what I want you to notice today when we do these different variations is you get something and you lose something. So by making the downward dog short, it might be a little easier to put the weight in your feet. It's a little easier on the shoulders. But you might lose some extension. So come down to your hands and knees again.
Now walk your hands really far forward. So now it's going to be a really long downward dog. Then come up.
So if you don't feel the difference, walk further back or hands further forward. So this one you might feel a little strong on the shoulders, a little strong on the hamstrings, or maybe the calves more accurately. But a lot of extension. And then come down.
Now come back to your regular dog. Take a breath and come back up.
So you're finding the appropriate midpoint for your dog. You want both the extension and the ability to put weight back in your feet.
All right, and then come down. Now, take your hands to the edge of the mat. Take your toes to the edge of the mat. So now you're going wide. So your hands are wide, your legs are wide, and then come up.
So here, something different happens. And it might be felt across your back. It might be felt in your hamstrings or your arms.
And come down. Take a rest, because the next one is, so go ahead and rest in child's pose so we can actually rest.
Rest your arms so you don't have to push your arms forward.
Come back up. All right, now we're gonna go narrow. So bring your legs together. And then, let's see. This is how you do the hands. You turn your hands out like this. So try if you'll watch for a second. So the arms are narrow and you have to kind of fit your head in the middle. Your legs are narrow. Tuck your toes under. I'll lift up.
So again, what makes this pose more difficult? What makes it easier is one way to look at it. What feels different is another way to look at it.
All right, come down. Okay, stand up. If you need blocks for Uttanasana, go ahead and have some blocks. So start with the feet hip width apart and fold forward. So either on blocks or not on blocks, but come forward to a place where you can keep your legs straight. So press your thighs back Lift your quadriceps up. All right. Now you remember the pendulum we did in the beginning of class. So you're going to lean forward. So the weight is more on your toes. And that does something. And then you're going to lean back as much as you can. Now, eventually you would fall. Let's see if how much weight you can get in your heels. Then lean forward again. And again, you want the weight in your toes. Almost if your heels are coming off the ground. And then lean back. So now your toes feel very light. Then come to the center. So that the weight is even between the front and back of the foot. All right, place your hands on your hips, come all the way up. All right, now take your feet at least sticky mat distance apart. So if you have a narrow mat, maybe a little wider. And fold forward. So just like downward dog, this wide Uttanasana actually has a very similar feeling across the back. If you have trouble with your back, you might feel it more than somebody that doesn't. Especially if it's down, way down in your lower back, towards your sacrum. And you can go forward and back here, but it should feel pretty much the same as it did earlier. But find the center. All right, lift your head up. Now you're gonna have to bring your feet together. So you might want blocks because this makes it harder. So engage your quadriceps, fold forward. Notice how this is different. So Kathy with a K, can you lean forward a little bit? Yes. All right, place your hands on your hips. Come all the way back up. All right, so get ready for triangle pose. However you do that. Turn your right leg all the way out. Turn your left leg in. So for the first one, line up your heel with the instep, your right heel with the left instep. So this is traditional Trikonasana. Lift your arms. Take your right hand down. Move your right buttock underneath you. Take your shoulders back. Inhale, come up. Go to the other side. Turn your left leg out. Turn your right leg in. Line up your left instep or left heel with your right instep. Exhale, come down. Press through your left heel, inhale, come up. All right, ah, crap. Okay, so I'm gonna assume we're still going, because for some reason, anyway, we'll keep going. So a lot of you had kind of a short, what I would consider a short, actually, a short Trikonasana. Well, we'll see if it comes back up for me. Anyway, so in this one, I want you to have your ankles under your wrist. And then go to the right again. Okay. Then press through your left heel, come back up. Turn to the left. Go down. Inhale, come back up. I don't know why. All right, now take your step very short. So make your width between your feet very short. And then go down to the right. Oh, there we are. All right, so that does something, right? Press through your left foot. Inhale, come back up. Technology. Turn your left foot out. Right foot in, come down. So notice what you get for this and what you don't get. Inhale, come back up. All right, now we're gonna take the feet really wide. So you might need a little more support, it's harder to balance. So take your feet wider than your wrist. Almost to the edge of your fingertips. Go really, really wide. All right, turn your right leg out. Turn your left leg in. Bring your hand down. Yeah. So Chaya, go wider. Yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah, it is harder, you know, when you have this tightness here, it's harder with it wide. Press through your left foot, inhale, come up. Turn your feet to the other side. Exhale, go down. Inhale, come back up. Turn your feet to the front. Take your feet together. All right, so I'm gonna turn my mat just so you can see, because we're going to change Trikonasana in a different way. All you really need to see is my feet. So normally we line up, no, not somebody else. We line up the instep with the heel. But now you're going to take your right foot all the way to the edge of the mat like this, and take your left foot to the edge of the mat. So the width between your feet is wide. So rather than going wide between your legs, you're going wide between your feet. I think you'll like this one. I like this one. Lift your arms up. All right. Take your right hand down. All right. Pull from your left hand. Inhale, come up. And then change sides. Wait. I was like, that doesn't feel right. Okay, there we go. Take your left hand up. Be there for a moment so that you can feel the difference between this wide Trikonasana and the normal Trikonasana. And press through your right heel. Come on up. All right. Now, you might guess where we're going next. And this one is a little tippy. So you might want to be near a wall. But you're actually going to cross your legs so that the right foot is forward, like towards, you might have to turn the back foot in a little bit more than normal. But this doesn't happen too often in class. The others all happen when you're teaching a class. Everyone does a variation of any of the others. This one, not so much, occasionally, especially in warrior poses. All right. So once you have the legs crossed, take your right hand down. So the left leg is actually behind the right. I'm actually doing my other side, but you'll notice that this one, it's a lot harder on the back hip. All right, come up, change sides. Yeah, funky Trikonasana, right? A little harder on the hips. A little harder to come down. All right, inhale, come back up. Ah, that's a lot of Trikonasana. So guess what? We got one more pose or 1.5 more poses to do that with. All those. All right, so we're gonna go from Parsvottanasana, which is, I can just get rid of the mat. Although you can see the width easier in that way. So we're gonna go from this pose, and we're gonna make it wide, and we're gonna make it narrow, all right? So first, regular distance. So take your feet out. You're gonna have your blocks on next to your right foot. And then turn towards your right. Fold forward, bring your hands down. All right, place your hands on your hips, come up, change your feet. So your left foot's forward. Exhale, fold forward. Parsvottanasana. Two straight legs. Yeah, I mean, I'm staying in the concave phase so I can see you better. I mean, you could go down. It's up to you. It depends how flexible your hamstrings are. Place your hands on your hips, come back up. All right, first side again. But now, for those that sometimes teach, this is a very common mistake. This very short Parsvottanasana. So your right foot's forward, left foot back. You know, just a couple of feet between your legs and fold forward. And just for fun, because I said there was like 1.5 more poses, keep your, it would be your right hand on the block or floor. No, it'd be your left hand on the block or floor. Take your right hand to your hip, rotate your chest, and come into Parivrtta Trikonasana. Revolve triangle. Yes. And then bring your right hand back down. Change your feet over. You can jump, you can switch, you can come up. All right, so first, Parsvottanasana with a short step. Then keep your right hand on the brick, take your left hand to your hip, rotate your chest. And now you can come into Parivrtta Trikonasana. Bring both hands down. Hands on your hips, come all the way up. Right leg forward, left leg back. And now the one that no one really wants to do, the really wide one. So if you look at the distance between my feet, it's close to mat length. Make them as wide as you can and still stay upright with 2 straight legs. Go wide and then fold forward. Even if your back heel comes up. I don't care if your back heel comes up because that has more to do with the ability to bend your ankle. But I want you to feel what you get in your torso and your legs when you take these different stances. And we'll add the revolve triangle in. So keep your left hand down, right hand to your hip, rotate to the right. Bring the right hand down. Change your legs. Left leg forward. Turn your chest to face your left foot. You can go down if you want to go down. Then keep your right hand on the brick. Take your left hand to your hip, rotate your chest, and come into revolve triangle. Then bring your hand back down, step your feet together, and come all the way back up. All right. So again, we're going to try the distance this way so that the feet are far apart this way. So bring, I guess I'll do my real one. So bring your right foot towards the edge of the mat and your left foot towards the edge of the mat if you're using a mat. Then turn your hips to face your right leg and fold. Then take your right hand to your hip, rotate your chest. Come into Parivrtta Trikonasana with wide leg, if possible. Yes, you can keep your hand on your hip if your balance is better that way. Bring your right hand down. Switch legs. So rather than lining up your heels, you're taking your heels far apart. Fold forward. Then keeping your right hand on the brick or floor, take your left hand to your hip, rotate your chest, come into Parivrtta Trikonasana. With straight legs. Take your left hand down. All right. So now the crossover. So now it'll be your right foot. You see how my legs are crossed? Your right foot is further to the left foot further to the right, and then fold forward. Yes, you can have taller bricks. Now, if your balance is okay, keep your left hand down, right hand to your hip, and rotate your chest. You can lift the right arm up if it helps you. Bring your right hand down. All right, you're gonna change legs. Now it just occurred to me that we didn't actually cross the legs in Uttanasana. We should probably do that too. Yes. I don't think you have to go quite that wide, Bob, to feel it. I don't know, is that okay on your knees? Yeah. And then keep your right hand down, take your left hand to your hip, rotate your chest. Parivrtta Trikonasana with crossed legs. Take your left hand down, step your feet together, fold forward, and rest. All right, come back up. Get a blanket, maybe 2 blankets if your abs aren't as strong as they might be. And then you can watch for a second once you have the blanket. Make sure I'm in the video. All right. So I put my hips on the blanket. I lie down and take my legs into the air. Then I'm going to lower one leg over and over again. All right, and then the other one. So prepare for that. So the more blankets you have, the easier this is. If you're tough, then you don't need any blankets. I need at least one to continue to talk in a normal voice. So once you're here in Urdhva Prasarita Padasana, if you're like me and you're facing the screen from the side, you'll be able to see if your legs are at 90 degrees. Then keep your left leg at 90 degrees and lower your right leg repeatedly. You can try, and I've been kind of experimenting with this, exhaling on the way down or exhaling on the way up. Notice maybe one of them is better for you. It's a little more effort to come back up. So then the exhale would probably make more sense to do it on the way back up. But I've tried both ways. Okay, switch legs. Now, of course, this is harder if you can't keep your top leg at 90 degrees because of hamstring tightness. But you could bend the knee a little bit rather than leave it down. I am somewhat timing these. Seems like this leg is going on longer. There it goes. Okay. Both legs together. Don't you wish you had more blankets? All right. Now, you're just going to go down a little ways and back up. So only go down as far as you can maintain this for a minute is what we're doing. So you might be able to go all the way down and all the way back up, but maybe not. Maybe it's halfway, maybe it's just a little bit. So you're finding the right amount of effort for your abs. Okay, hug your knees in. That was a minute. Roll to your side and come back up. Okay, so I'm going to show this. This is the same kind of, this is actually the last one where we'll go wide and then narrow and wide and narrow. But it's very hard to kick up, and if kicking up into handstand is already a challenge, then moving your hands wide and narrow is just going to be too much of a challenge. So you can take it in L pose. Oh, make sure the door is all the way closed. All right. So I'm going to start regular. See what that's like. And then I'm going to go wide. And see what that's like. Switch beep. And then I'm going to go narrow. And see what that's like. If this isn't happening at all for you, then you can do it here with narrow arms and wide arms. So it just moves the same thing the other way. So try that. Everyone has something to do, right? Yeah, if you want to kick up, you're more than welcome to try. Yeah, that's it. Oh, Bob, turn your arms out when you bring your hands to go towards each other. Yeah. So the thumbs are, if you want to see, the thumbs are just like in downward dog, where we had the thumbs kind of facing forward. Yeah. Yeah. That's pretty much what I did yesterday. I was trying all these. I used to do it all the time, but I hadn't done it in a while, and I was like, okay, well, let's see what the narrow arm brings. And it usually brings a lot of flailing. Oh, maybe I got used to it. All right. Are we done? Looks like we're done. Okay. Chatush Padasana. We're going to do Supta Padangusthasana at the end, and I want to make sure we have time for that. So you're going to lie on your back. Bring your heels in close to your hips. Lift your hips up. Roll your shoulders under. All right. Now, last week I talked about the base of the big toe. So ask yourself in this pose if there's pressure on the base of the big toe. Because if there's not, then chances are your toes are turning out. I mean, you could try the narrow and wide here too. The feet together, feet apart. It's harder to control the knees with the feet apart. Or the legs, really. The knees just kind of follow along. Then come down. Rest. All right, so your choices are shoulder stand or supported chatush. So supported chatush looks like this. You can have a brick for your feet. The luxurious version although hard to measure. Let's see if I get it. Is having a pad under your shoulders. Well, pretty close. So Chaturanga Padasana, or actually Siddhabandha Sarvagasana, sorry. You could also do a shoulder stand with a chair. Or you can do regular shoulder stand. So pick one of those and set up. When you're ready, go up. Spend the first few moments getting your shoulders rolled under, getting your balance right. Sometimes it doesn't happen right the first time and you have to go up again. And any of the poses actually, especially shoulder stand for some reason, maybe work here longer. Press your upper arms into the floor. Soften your neck and throat. If you're in, actually, any of the poses, extend through your legs. Extend the balls of your feet. You're lifting, well, in shoulder stand, you're lifting yourself out of your shoulders with your legs. In Siddhabandha, you're using your legs so that you're not just, it kind of falls into your back if you don't use your legs. Not always. Also, especially not if you're not up that high. Relax your forehead. Those in shoulder stand can take the right leg halfway down. Those in Chaturanga could take the right leg up. That would look like, or Siddhabandha, that would look like this, rather than this. Lift your right leg back up, or put it back in its place. Take your left leg down, or up. Then bring your left leg back to its original position. Turn your right leg out, 45 degrees or more. And I did not plan ahead. Take it out to the side. Now, if you're in Siddhabandha, you're going to take it straight up again because out to the side will throw you off the block. Then lift that leg back up. Back to its original position. Turn the left leg out. Bring the left leg at least halfway down. Bring the left leg back up. Now, I didn't show this and I probably should have, but you're going to go across the body with the right leg. So again, if you're in Setu Bandha, you're going to just lift it straight up. Well, I guess you could probably lift it a little bit over. But you're going to take your right leg toward your left shoulder. So this is like the crossed legs we did in the standing poses. Then lift that leg back up, bring it back, and take the left leg over. Cross it towards your right shoulder. And then bring it back up. Reestablish your shoulder stand. And then slowly come down. If you're in bridge, you can lift your hips and lower the block to its lowest, and then lower your hips onto the block again. Then lift your hips and remove the block entirely. Yay, we have time. All right. So you'll need a strap, and that is all. And possibly a sticky map. Let's see how I want to show this. Oh, you'll need blankets or a block later. Put my strap. So we're going to do all the right side, then all the left side. Let's see if this shows. Nope. Okay. You can see my feet. Okay, so normally we do Supta Padangusthasana, feet together, right? So we'll do that fairly quickly. And then we're going to take the left leg out to the left and do the same thing. And we'll take it across and do the same thing. Let's see how much time we have. All right. So you can have your feet at the wall or right in the middle of the room. So start with your feet together. Oh, legs on the floor. Both legs, yeah. And straighten them out. Yes. You can remove your hands too. Yeah, correct. Okay. Now lift your right leg up. Put the strap on your right foot. No strap? Like this. Yeah. There we go. Press your left thigh into the ground. Press your right thigh away from you. Yeah, that's it, Kathy. That's what I was looking for. Kathy with a K. All right. Now take your both sides of the strap into your right hand. Take your leg over to the right. Press your left thigh down. Yeah, that's it, Julia. Then lift your right leg back up. Switch hands. Keep your left leg where it is and bring your right leg across your body. Yes. Not too far. Well, we can go as far as you want. You can decide. if you come all the way into the twist, or you just do the IT band stretch. The IT band stretch that we do is closer to what we've been doing than going all the way into the twist. All right, lift that leg back up. Now take your left foot over to the left. So keep the strap on the same foot. All right. And lift the right leg up if you haven't already. See if it's a little easier, maybe. For many people, it's a little easier. So turn your left toes to the ceiling. Yes. All right. Now take the leg over to the right. Bring it back up. And then take it over to the left. I think you did the other one, Marcia, so just switch it. Yeah, come, bring it towards the camera. There we go. Yeah. And bring it back up. All right, bend the knee, put the foot on the floor for a second. Now you're gonna take the left foot over to the right. So you're still working on the same leg. So left leg is straight, yes. Lift the right leg up. Take the right leg to the right. Press the left thigh down. Bring the right leg to the center. Take it across the body. Bring it back to the center. Bend both knees, put your feet on the ground. Center yourself again. Straighten both legs. Feet together. Lift your left leg up. Press your right thigh down. Take your left leg to the left. Press your right thigh down. Bring your left leg back up. Take it to the right. Bring it back up. All right, yes, that's correct. Take the leg out wide. Take the right leg out wide. Take your left leg to the left. Bring it to the center. Take it to the right. Bring it to the center. Put your foot on the floor, your left foot on the floor. Take your right leg over to the left. Yep. And then lift your left leg up. Take your leg to the left. Bring it back to the center. Take it to the right. And bring it to the center. Bend your knees, place them on the floor. Roll to your side. And watch me. All right. You're going to place a folded blanket or two, depending on your flexibility. More flexible people will use more blankets. So same pose, but this time the hips are elevated and the feet are on the floor. Now this works better if you can use a wall, even if I can't see you, because you have something to press into. It's really hard to keep this leg down when there's no wall to press into. It can be done, but so we're going to do the same thing. We won't go over to the side because you'll lose this leg, but we'll go up and to the same side. All right, and then we're going to lift the feet. So put some blankets under your hips. 1 or 2 is plenty. Or a bolster, if you have a bolster nearby, that works too. All right, put your feet at the wall if you can. There's a little bit of a back bend. All right, now lift your right leg up, place the strap on the ball of your right foot. Oh. Oh. I see a bolster there, Sopo. You like to make things harder. It goes under both hips. What you're doing is the restorative version. Yes. And you're going to be further away from the wall once you put it in. That's all right. So you can take your foot as close to your head as you want with this one. Maybe not as you want, but as it will go. Yes. All right, now take your right leg to the right. Keep your left heel into the wall. Don't let it move. Don't let it go up the wall. The heel should be on the floor. All right. Bring the right leg back up. Switch feet. I don't know what's going on, Kathy K, but you're going to the side, so you should be on your left leg. Are you on your left leg? That looks like you're right, but it could be backwards. There we go. Okay, so this one's straight up and down as much as possible, or maybe next to your ear. I don't know. All right, now take your left leg to the left. Looks good, Marcia. Looks easy for you. Then bring it up to the center and release it down. Okay, now remove the blankets under your hips, but still have your feet on the wall. So this is the middle one. And lift your right leg up. And you can put a strap on your foot. I mean, you could do it with the abs, but you can use a strap. All right. Bring your foot as close to your head as possible. With it straight. I mean, that's. Maybe you go a little further. Yeah, you can move your head towards your foot if you wish. Yeah, that actually pulls your foot in more. No strap, Chad? I was wondering. All right, and now take your leg over to the right. Don't let the left leg get light. Bring it back to the center. Change legs. Yep. Someday the head will reach the shin. It may be after a car accident, but someday. All right. Take your leg over to the left. Press your right thigh down. You see lots of space under the right thigh. Bring it back up. All right, bend your knees, place your feet on the floor. All right, now whatever height you had under your hips, put it under your feet. So if you used a bolster, put that against the wall. If you used a couple blankets, put those against the wall. But you want your feet up high enough so you can feel the difference. So maybe, you might need an extra blanket or something. All right, but I think you should feel the difference no matter what. But an extra blanket's nice. All right, bring your right leg up. Bring your right foot towards your head. Oh, didn't even require a car accident. Got closer. For many of you. Take your right leg to the side, the right side. Bring it back to the center. Switch legs. No. Bring your shin towards your chin. No, without bending your knee. When you're flexible, you tend to bend your knee when it gets, yeah, that goes. When it gets really close, I do the same thing. I didn't even know I was doing it. All right, take your left leg to the left. Keep your right hip down. Yeah. All right, bring it back to the center. Okay, now you can hug your knees in towards your chest. That was a lot of hamstring work today. That's not really what I intended, but I was thinking about it and everything was hamstrings. Okay, it's time for Shavasana. I know, where'd the time go? Relatively normal Mary length Shavasana. So yeah, pillow underneath the knees is a good idea. Since you already have them there. Roll your shoulders under. Soften your neck and throat. Release your jaw. Rest your tongue into the base of your mouth. And use the next few moments to focus on your breath. Deepen your breath. Bend your knees. Roll to your side. Roll a little further to your side and use your hands to lift yourself back up to seated. Take your arms wide, lift your chest. Bring your palms together in front of your heart. Think of something you're grateful for. Namaste. Thank you all for coming. I will be teaching Cheryl's class next week, next Monday. So use that information how you will.
I won't be here.
Thank you, Mary.
Mary, thank you.
You're welcome.
Have a good weekend. Was a really good class. I love those hip openings. Oh my gosh. I love the height on the hips and then on the feet.
Yeah, it makes a huge difference.
Huge difference.
Yeah,
It's really comfortable.
yeah, yeah. With the feet,
Open.
the feet. Yeah,
And as a
Yeah.
hamstring person, I want to say it wasn't just stretching the hamstrings, it was